It's almost time for the Oscars, so of course it's time to talk about Chris Rock, but not for the reason you might think. As just over 20 years ago, Chris will make a bizarre appearance on the 16th weekly NWA TNA pay-per-view. On October 9th, 2002, the former SNL cast member was in the TNA asylum to film a scene for his upcoming film, Head of State. Full disclosure, I watched the scene in Head of State for this video, and I can confirm you probably can miss it. To bring this back to wrestling, a scene was filmed on that night in the TNA asylum that lasts less than a minute in the final movie. In the movie, Chris's character is running for office, so is attending various public events to gain favour with the voters, such as a baseball game and the wrestling. I did laugh a bit at the start of the TNA scene, where Rock's character is welcomed into the asylum by Road Dogg, BG James at the time, who bizarrely is holding the NWA World Championship. Seconds later, with no explanation, BG James is on the mat, with Jeff Jarrett holding the belt now, giving Chris Rock a kicking, accompanied by Ron Killings, and what I think might have been a Harris brother probably. That's the scene in the movie, but what about Rock's pay-per-view appearance that night? His entire time in the ring was so brief that it exists on YouTube as a short on Impact's channel. At this point, I'd just like to throw in a cheap plug for my YouTube shorts. Daily videos about moments in wrestling history. Chris looks completely bemused by the wrestling show environment, and quickly pronounces NWA TNA to be the best wrestling in the world, before bolting out of the ring as soon as he can. Chris Rock would have another connection to wrestling, as in 2005, he would appear in the significantly better Adam Sandler film, The Longest Yard. This film had several wrestlers playing roles, such as Kevin Nash, The Great Khali, Bob Sapp, Bill Goldberg, and even Stone Cold Steve Austin. Chris Rock's final link to pro wrestling is indirect to say the least. Following the events of the 2022 Oscars, memes of Chris Rock vs Will Smith at WrestleMania were all over the internet. Chris Rock, however, would likely have rather had the match take place in TNA, which he infamously called the best wrestling in the world. TNA itself has a fairly unusual, and you might say inept relationship with celebrity appearances, including some far worse than Chris Rock on this night. This is the company who more than once booked cast members from the Jersey Shore, despite it not occurring to them that they were cross-promoting with a show that aired at the same time as Impact, therefore making the appearance useless, as Jersey Shore fans were likely watching the real thing on another channel. They even created characters to appeal to Jersey Shore fans, Robbie E and Cookie. But again, you're trying to draw from an audience that is likely watching the real thing at the same time. Maybe the most egregious though was TNA reportedly signing Survivor star Johnny Fairplay to a $300,000 deal. In a fairly recent interview about his time in TNA, Johnny made some interesting claims. He makes it sound like Dixie Carter in particular was desperate to sign him, claiming she was willing to give him whatever he wanted to join. So, Fairplay took the money, but also requested first-class flights, 5-star hotels, a cell phone and health insurance, and was given all of this. The rumour at the time was that Dixie Carter was a fan of reality shows like Jersey Shore and Survivor, and this might be why these people got involved in TNA, even if it didn't make good business sense. Fairplay had gained notoriety for pulling a stunt on Survivor, where he attempted to gain sympathy for his grandmother passing away while he was participating on the show, only for this to be found out to be a lie after filming had ended. Fairplay would end up making just 8 appearances for TNA, making it hard for anyone to justify the cost of signing him. Nothing against the man himself for taking advantage of the money offered to him, but it's stories like this that make it so amazing that TNA lasted through those early years. Thank you for watching yet another wrestling channel. If you enjoyed this, please comment, like or subscribe.